The following is a broadcast presentation of Central Ohio Sports Network. Welcome to the Josh Franke Coaches Show. Live from 101 Craft Kitchen in Westerville. Here's your host, Brent Ford.
Welcome inside another week of the Josh Franke Coaches Show here on Central Ohio Sports Network. Brent Ford with you. Week 10 is upon us. Can't believe it. Week 10, the regular season is wrapping up this Friday night. Westerville Central will go on the road and take on New Albany. The Eagles waiting for the Warhawks in what's always a good game at the end of the regular season. But Westerville Central coming off a win against Central Crossing, 30-0 in that one. The Warhawks were able to really dominate in multiple phases of the game. However, the one phase that we're going to probably talk about a little bit in depth with Coach Franke coming up in just a little bit will be those special teams. We've talked about it before. It's always been a little bit of a sticky situation for the Warhawks, but overall, I thought that this game went pretty well. There were some points where you thought, well, maybe you need to play just a little bit more aggressive. But, you know, it depends on the flow of the game and how the coach feels on the call of the game and things like that, what personnel he's got, what he's looking at. So, you know, we can deep dive all of that with Coach Franke coming up inside the show. Glad you could be with us. We're here at 101 Craft Kitchen in Westerville, the Polaris area. We've got a good show for you tonight. Coach Zach Hill will be joining us. Hezi Musagala as well, senior for Westerville Central. Coach Hill joins us at 6:15. Hezi Musagala right around 6:27. And then Coach Franke close to the 6:39 mark. He'll join us there, and we'll do our usual recap. Look ahead to New Albany. Talk about players of the game, who his captains are going to be in Week 10, and we'll wrap things up then near the end of the show and get you set for Week 10, the final regular season game for Westerville Central when they head to New Albany. So again, great schedule on tap tonight for tonight's show. It's just going to be one of those nights where we're going to have a lot of positives to talk about. There's a few negatives, and you hate to use the word negative, but you know, the special teams just felt like it was off last week, and we're going to recap that as we run through this game. Westerville Central gets the football to start things off in the first quarter, and in that first possession, Westerville Central was able to run it in, 56-yard touchdown rush by Rylan Moran. That turned into a 6-0 lead early on. Niko Bogatic had to come out of the game for an equipment issue. That's the holder for the extra point. So Westerville Central elects to go for the 2-point conversion at that point. That's no good. Central Crossing with their first possession of the game. That turns into a punt. Warhawks get it back. They go on an 8-play drive, and Westerville Central was able to put it in with Kajai Johnson. 44-yard touchdown rush. 12-0 at that point for Westerville Central. Extra point. Wide to the left. That's no good. So, again, the special teams there is something that we'll want to deep dive a little bit. From there, end of the first quarter, Westerville Central has the football. They have to punt. Central Crossing in their first two possessions had to punt it away as well. Back and forth with some punts as well. One of the things in that second quarter, 6:36 to play, and Westerville Central starts Central Crossing starts their drive at 6:36 in the second quarter at their own 21-yard line. It's intercepted on a deflection. Devon Lipsey is able to corral that in at the Westerville Central 11-yard line. The Warhawks then take it down the field in a 12-play drive. That ends with an interception in the end zone for Steeler Bean of Central Crossing. And so Nate Miller, the first-year quarterback, takes his team on a great drive. They start at their own 11 on 12 plays. They wind that clock down. Unfortunately, it ends with that interception in the end zone. They go into the half leading 12-0 over Central Crossing. And then you want to put yourself in a mindset of, okay, going into the locker room, we're up 12-0. It's Week 9, Central Crossing, senior night as well. We've got some back and forths. We were able to put some points up on the board. Our special teams on the 2-point conversions and extra points did not convert in that first quarter. And so how do we adjust that? How do we get ourselves into a better position? And you ended that second quarter on a great drive, just not the way it should have ended with that interception in the end zone. And in that third quarter, they take it for about a 6 or 7 play drive. They end up into the end zone. Nate Miller converts to Cam Hebner, 38-yard touchdown. That's Cam Hebner's first touchdown of the season. 18-0, 2-point conversion, no good. The third conversion attempt in this game where Westerville Central was unable to convert. Central Crossing gets the football back. They have to punt it. Warhawks get it at 6:21 in that third quarter. That ends up with a punt as well. 4:30 to play in that third quarter, and it's a one-play possession because we're going to talk to him coming up inside the show. But Hezi Musagala with the interception, and Westerville Central gets that football right back. He's able to put Westerville Central at the Central Crossing 23-yard line. You go 4 plays later, and Bangora puts it into the end zone with a 1-yard touchdown rush. 24-0, another 2-point conversion, no good. So 24-0, Westerville Central on top. Central Crossing with the football. And then this is probably one of the biggest plays of the year, if not the game as well. Central Crossing driving. They're at their own 37. They start the drive with 3:17 to go in that third quarter. And on that 6th play of the drive, Nick Creaky with the pick 6, and he takes it all the way to the house. 30-0, Westerville Central. The extra point is no good, but once again, the special teams and those conversions, they don't convert a single one in this game, Westerville Central. So Central Crossing gets the football back. At that point, it's a 30-0 lead, and the clock is a running clock now the rest of the way. And Central Crossing goes on an 11-play drive. They're unable to do anything with that. They turn it over on downs. Warhawks have it for 3:17 to go. They get a first down after a big third down conversion, and that drains the clock down to 0. Westerville Central walks away on senior night with a 30-0 win over Central Crossing. So what does that do to the playoff picture? Central Crossing mathematically eliminated. They are 0-9 in Division I, Region 3, so they are in that last spot of the region. Where does that put Westerville Central in the playoff picture? Currently, they sit in 10th place. According to Joe Idle, the Warhawks control their own destiny. Mathematically, he says, with a win, they'll be in seeds 8 to 11, and with a loss on Friday night to New Albany, they could be the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th seed, or potentially out, according to some of the math that Joe Idle is kind of projecting here. A lot of teams have already clinched in Division I, Region 3. Let's take a look at that. Number 1 seed right now is Olentangy Orange. They're 9-0. They've clinched the number 1 seed and a bye at home. Pick Central, they're 8-1. They've clinched the top 4 and a bye plus home field advantage. Olentangy has clinched. They'll be at home. Gahanna clinched a top 8 playoff spot as well. Currently, they're sitting 4th. Olentangy Liberty in 5th place, followed by Pickerington North, Upper Arlington, Grove City, Groveport Madison, Westerville Central, Olentangy Berlin, and Newark is sitting there in 12th as the top 12 teams make it into the playoffs. Kind of on the outside looking in right now, Westerville North and Delaware Hayes on that 13th and 14th spot. Lancaster, Thomas Worthington, Reynoldsburg. Thomas Worthington, Reynoldsburg are mathematically eliminated. Lancaster and Westerville North are, with a win, there's a potential that they mathematically can get into the playoff as well, because Delaware Hayes sitting in that 13th spot, they control their own destiny. With a win, they're looking at potentially an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seed, depending on the math as well. Newark, they're still in the hunt. They're sitting in 12th place right now in the region, but they have to get a win. And even with a win, there's still a potential that the Newark Wildcats will be out of the playoffs. So you have to keep an eye on that. All night long, tomorrow night, we'll try to keep an eye on a lot of the scores inside the region and other opponents that Westerville Central is taking on. All those computer points will matter moving into the final days of the weekend. But again, top 4 teams are going to get that bye. And so if the playoffs started this week, Westerville Central would open up the playoffs at Upper Arlington. So that's pretty big for the Warhawks if they want to continue to put themselves in that playoff race and make sure that they establish and really clinch that playoff berth mathematically, according to Joe Idle, who works closely with the OHSAA on a lot of the computer math. Right now, Westerville Central controls what happens to them. Now, there's a great possibility that they are in. The numbers just show that it's more likely that they'll be in than out, but there still is that mathematical computation that says there is that slight chance that they could be forced out depending on how their game goes, because other points in there as well. So really have to make sure that the win is what Westerville Central focuses on in Week 10. They have to find a way to get that win going into New Albany, which is always tough to do. And I tell you, that's a big order to ask. New Albany sits in Division 2, Region 7. But they've played all Division I teams. They've got a win over Central Crossing. They've got a win over Hilliard-Bradley and a win over Olentangy-Berlin, who is fighting for that Division I Region 3 playoff berth. So, again, where is everything going to land? And how are other teams that Westerville Central has played, where are they going to land in the playoff scenario? Westerville South, a Division II team, in Region 7, they're 7-2. That's a loss for Westerville Central in Week 2 back early in the season, and so you got to keep an eye on those points. Where does Pickerington Northland, Grove City, Dublin Jerome, Bell Fountain, all those teams that are on your schedule can play a factor in some of those points that Westerville Central will be looking for as we move into the weekend. And we could know pretty early, depending on how quickly some of the scores are updated and things like that. We could know possibly Friday night as we're going off air, or first thing Saturday morning as everyone wakes up to see where all the teams are going to land inside their regions, inside their divisions for the OHSAA state playoffs. Once again, coming up inside the show, we're going to have Coach Zach Hill join us next, and then later on, Hezi Musagala will join us as well. Coach Franke has made his way to 101 Craft Kitchen, and he will join us later on inside the show as well. And we'll talk with him about last week's Central Crossing win, who his captains will be going into Week 10, and we'll also take a look at this matchup against New Albany. That's all coming up inside the Josh Franke Coaches Show as we continue from 101 Craft Kitchen here in the Westerville Polaris area on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Buckeye football great and NFL Super Bowl champion Jim Lachey on sportsmanship.
Winning and losing can teach kids many lessons, but high school sports are truly about respecting your opponent, representing your school, and building the foundation for a lifetime of success. High school sports create memories that last a lifetime. And member schools of the OHSAA are committed to following a high set of standards. Whether it's on the field or in the stands, we can all do our part to respect the game.
This message brought to you by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Connect with Central Ohio Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram at COSN Audio, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Central Ohio Sports Network. COSN social media will have score updates, pictures from the game, audio clips, interviews, and more. Follow and like today. Central Ohio Sports Network. Sports coverage by the fans.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great, don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Back here at 101 Craft Kitchen in Westerville, Brent Ford, joined with Coach Zach Hill inside the Josh Franke Coaches Show here on COSN. Glad you could join us here in Week 10 of the high school football season. We were just saying off air before we came up that you were asking me, does it feel like the season has flown by? And I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every year it goes faster, and I told you that it feels like I should still be getting ready for Week 1 and 2.
Yep.
Because it just goes by so fast. It's crazy. After 12 seasons, every year just goes a little faster. And then I told you that with the change of the weather, that really helps me focus in on, okay,
a reminder,
these are the big games. It's playoff time. High school football in Ohio is just an amazing time to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And to enjoy that and see how the community rallies around the teams and how the school rallies around those players and coaches. So it's a great time and great time of year. And then that also signals that, hey, you're getting closer to other sports like the winter sports, basketball,
wrestling, basketball,
wrestling. Then we start talking about spring sports, track, baseball, softball, and then you're back to summer, and then we're talking football again.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just constant turnover, but it feels like it goes by really quick all the time. Well, thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting me ramble there for a minute.
No, I love it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's remind all the fans out there who's Coach Zach Hill is.
Yeah, so it's my first year at Central, coaching linebackers. So, yeah, like we were just talking about, my first season coming in August, super excited, and then you blink, and it's all of a sudden you're getting ready for playoffs and for the Week 10 opponent. So it's crazy how fast it's flown by. But it's been a great season, and I think our defense, especially even our linebackers, have just gotten better each week. So I think that's really been the exciting part this season, is to see how much we've grown. We were just having a conversation of how much better we are from Week 1 to now, and I don't think you can even compare the two teams that we've started at and where we're at now.
I think if you were to put Week 1 Westerville Central team up against Week 10 Westerville Central team, you could absolutely see the difference if they went head-to-head. The growth this year has just been outstanding on a lot of phases of the game. So that's really, really great that, you can really see all that growth. So we talked about it earlier in the season about your linebacker core and how they've really developed and how they've come along. But give us your update from the last time we talked to now. How do you feel that things have gone? Have you seen even more improvement? I know we talk about the growth and improvement, but from a specific position, you have to see some major growth from week to week.
Absolutely, and that's really really something that they have accepted, like how can we get better each week. And so they challenge themselves, they challenge me to be even a better coach, which is exactly what you want from your players. But yeah, just the week to week adjustments we make, the changes, like I don't think people realize how much it takes week to week, because you have an entirely new game plan, entirely new team you're playing. So for the challenges for them to have in front of them, especially in our conference, which one of the best in the state, I'd argue, the improvement that they've shown, the adaptability they've shown, I always preach to them, just be a sponge, right, and just soak up everything you can. Ask as many questions as you can, right, because we want to make sure we don't leave any stone unturned going into our Friday night game. And so the maturity, the growth, the ability to adapt to the team we're playing, and the game plan that we're trying to put forth, they've just been able to pick it up so much quicker each week. And so that's really a testament to their buy-in, and not just the linebackers, but I'd say the entire team. Like going back to growth, like I think our maturity from week 1 to week 10 has just been head and heels better. So to see that from our group, and especially in my room, has been super cool as a coach to kind of watch as the season goes on.
The growth of this team shows in every aspect, but let's talk about some of the individuals that you've got in that linebacker room who has really stood out and really shown that from week 1 they go, well, I'm not quite getting it, but now it's week 10, and if you throw them out there on the field, you're pretty confident that they're going to be able to run any play that's put up against them.
Yeah, so you're going to talk to him in a minute here, but Hezi, he actually started out the season as a safety, was getting reps at different positions, and then early in the season, right, actually the last time we talked, made the adjustment to move him to linebacker. So an entirely new position and different way to play it, different footwork, just a whole different position than what he was used to. And from week 2 to now, again, completely different player, because he has just said, okay, I'm going to learn, I'm going to ask questions, I'm going to really do my best to listen and just do the best I can. And for him to be a senior and make that adjustment in the early weeks of the season shows not only just his ability to learn and adapt, but also his leadership. So he's been a guy that I can lean on in my room, and that our defense can really lean on as a leader week in and week out, because, hey, Hezzy, he wasn't playing the position that he wanted to early on, but he changed because that's what we needed him to do. So really setting the example there, and then, again, just week to week, him getting better. Got an interception last week. He's been sound in the run game, so I can't speak highly enough about Hezzy.
You speak about the run game, and you're about to take on a team that's pretty run heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got a pretty good running back. He's got over 1,300 yards, Jet Jewers. What do you want to see out of players like Hezzy in this game? Well, how important are your linebackers going up against New Albany?
Yeah, so our whole week has just been alignment sound, right? Because they come out of their huddle, they're boom, snap it down, getting set, run the play. And like you said, I think it's 83% run throughout their games this season. So for guys like Hezzy, other backers, even some of our safeties, their goal this week is to be the generals that are on the field. Get lined up, get set, and just be disciplined in things that we do. Because really a team like New Albany, that's what they're testing. How disciplined you are, how selfless you are. Are you able to do the same thing over and over and over again for 4 quarters? So being able to have guys like that in our room and really across the defense, be like, okay, we're going to accept this challenge for what it is. It's a different team, so be it. All right, we're going to step up, do our job. And that's really what we've been preaching the whole season, and they've been buying into it. So it's been really cool to see this week, completely different team, completely different game plan. And they have bought into it and really done a great job adjusting with that.
When you're looking at all these offenses that you've had through the first 9 weeks, what offense do you feel that was more challenging than someone else for just to kind of get your linebackers ready for a game? Who presented more of a challenge?
I'd say probably this week and then Grove City. Complete polar opposites, right? Grove City is high tempo, spreading the ball out, trying to get the ball out quick. Whereas New Albany, they're going fast, but we're running the ball as much as we can. So I think those 2 weeks, just because it's not very similar to any other teams that we're playing. Some of our other conference games they're pretty similar, right? Good athletes, relying on those guys week in and week out. But really these 2 games are just, again, testing your discipline, testing your ability to be disciplined for 4 quarters. So I think those 2 games have stood out. But again, the Grove City week, I think they did a really good job of adjusting. Again, new game plan, new scheme. Same thing for this week, so put that to the test tomorrow.
We're here at 101 Craft Kitchen.
Yep.
Did you look at the menu?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? Anything standing out to you?
Well, I think Hezzy's getting the one-on-one burger, and that sounds pretty good.
That does sound good,
Coach
right?
Franke, I think, said the hot honey chicken sandwich. That sounds pretty good, too.
Yeah. I had the lemon chicken.
Lemon chicken.
Yeah, that was good.
There you go.
We posted it on social media before the show, too.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a good view of it, just
might have to
look us up.
check the gram. Yeah.
Check the gram. That's right. It's all over there.
Love
Facebook, Thread. What's the other one? X. That's the other
X,
one.
Yep.
It's on there as well. So, yeah, check that out.
Awesome.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
tomorrow night. We appreciate you joining us, and glad you could join us again.
Yeah, love to be here.
That's great. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. All right, that's Coach Zach Hill, linebacker coach for Westerville Central. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Hezzy Musagala. He is, well, an all-around, multi-purpose kind of defensive guy now, it sounds like.
Yep.
So we're going to have him come up next here in the Josh Franke Coaches Show from 101 Craft Kitchen on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait. Attention on the road, that's the only way. Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait.
Don't drive distracted.
A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Ohio needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Welcome to today's game. This is Paul Keels, and you know how much I love broadcasting the Buckeyes, but I also love high school sports. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to set a good example and make this a fun and safe experience for the kids involved. I know this game means so much to the players, coaches, and fans, but high school sports are about much more than the wins and losses. They teach life lessons that will be with the players long after their playing days are over. Good luck to both teams, and remember to respect the game.
You're listening to the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network.
It's the Josh Franke Coaches Show from 101 Craft Kitchen here in Westerville. Brent Ford with you, along with Hezi Musagala. Now apparently one of the biggest linebackers coming off the field from senior night because you had a great interception in that game.
Yep.
You're also, let me read some numbers here off the old roster here. 5'11"? Stand about 5'11"?
5'11", yeah, I say so.
About 175?
Yeah, I lost a little bit of weight. I was like 180 coming into the season, probably like 172 right now.
But muscle, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
You know, Coach Schaefer putting you guys to work in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you started out the season in that kind of safety role.
Yeah.
When you started off the season in that role, what was that kind of like for you? Is that where you wanted to be?
Yeah, there's a lot of competition. I felt like I was doing pretty good, but that first game I obviously did not play as much as I would have liked to. So I was definitely okay with making that switch when it came up week 2.
What was it that led to that switch?
The other starting linebacker actually got hurt, so they threw in another dude. And next week, I'm a little bit bigger, so I definitely have like maybe a little bit more. They thought I could play a little bit. I don't know.
A little bit.
So.
That you just fit the mold a little bit better. Yeah. Maybe that's how you could be more helpful for the team in that scenario. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of players that have done that, and they've gone on to have some pretty great careers, realizing, hey, this is actually a great position. Why have I not been doing this forever?
Mm-hmm.
As a senior, you get the win on senior night.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that win. How's that feel to get that win on your last home game?
It was a great feeling. Like, I mean, before the game, they gave us like notes from our parents, so like it was really like emotional before the game. So it was like one of those games I was like, I really want to win this one. And when we came out one, I was super excited.
Yeah, I was actually kind of excited because I remember Coach Franke telling me about those letters, and I wanted to find out how well that went. It sounds like that was pretty meaningful to you.
It was, yeah. Got a letter from my mom, and like I'm a very big music person, and so I like Hamilton. So like she had like some quotes from Hamilton, and I was like, oh, like that really hit. I was like, okay, like.
You know, Coach Franke likes Hamilton.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, big Hamilton fan over there. I'll bet you.
Wait, I did know that.
Yeah,
I did. I had him in government class.
Yeah. I forgot. You guys could probably play that in class tomorrow then.
Maybe. We'll see.
You could probably convince him to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have him in class anymore.
No?
It was last year.
Well, just walk by and tell him to play it.
I got you.
Yeah. Just make it a special trip. Also in that game against Central Crossing, not only did you get the win, but you yourself had a great play late in that third quarter. You pick off the quarterback for Central Crossing. You get an interception.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see in that play that led you to grab that ball?
Mm-hmm. Well, they kept going out in empty, so there's nobody in the backfield, and they did a few times where they kept throwing that little out route. He just kept throwing it, so I was like, all right, I'm just going to jump it and hope for the best. And so I just went out there. He threw it, came right to me. I was like, oh.
This is it.
I caught it. I wanted to score, you know. One of my coaches had to shave his head if I got a pick six. So.
Oh, who's that?
Coach Wallace. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yes, that's awesome.
That'd have been nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he shave it?
Nah.
No?
I had to get a pick six.
Oh,
but
you
I
had to
only
get a
got
pick.
the pick. Yeah.
You only, okay.
So I was like, oh.
If I was me, I would have done it anyway. But I don't have any hair anyway, so it doesn't matter. I would have said, I'll grow out my beard until you win a playoff. So when that interception happens, tell me about the aftermath. Tell me about the celebration, what you're feeling, especially at senior night, last home game. What's that like?
I was turned. I was excited. I was jumping up. Let's go! Like, you know, had to get off the field. You know, offense was coming on, but it was definitely a great feeling. Well,
you set up your offense at the Central Crossing 23, and Omar Bangoro was able to get into the end zone with a 1-yard touchdown rush.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you set it up for points. You set your team up and your offense to get some points on the board, and at that point it was 24-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then that next drive by Central Crossing, Nick Creaky gets the pick six.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me about what you were feeling and watching in that moment.
That was definitely when Creaky got the pick six. That was,
yeah.
Well, I was on me and the other linebacker on the sideline because they put in the second string linebackers. So I saw him. I was like, oh, he about to score, and then he juked at everybody. I was like, okay. And then
he tiptoed that sideline.
I know. I was turned. I was excited for him.
That's a big moment. You guys go on to win this game 30-0 over Central Crossing. So talk to me now. It's week 10. You're going to New Albany in order to just kind of cap off the year.
Mm-hmm.
You can go 500, 5-5. What would that mean to you as a senior class to get to an even record on the year?
A big deal, man. Like last year, obviously going 1-9, and I just think it would definitely make senior year like that would be a prime memory for me personally, winning that game 5-5, knowing that we did a lot better than last year, worked a lot harder, and then going in winning this playoff game.
When you think about the playoffs, what does that kind of bring up to you? How does that make you feel?
A little nervous because it's elimination. So if you lose, it's done. It's like been playing football for the past 4 years, so it's definitely a little nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time.
Time flies.
Yeah,
it really does. I remember you being on the field a little bit last year, and
a little bit more special teams. I transferred to Central last year,
right?
My junior year, so I was ineligible for the last 5 games.
Yeah.
So,
but I remember when you came in. So when you think about where your team has come from that 1-9 season to now, what has been the biggest change inside that locker room?
Ooh, I mean, definitely our mentality. I would definitely say the weight room was a big part of it. Just like the discipline and just how we brought ourselves up. I feel like it wasn't like, oh, it's another game we're about to lose. Like I feel like that's kind of how people went into the season last year, and this year I feel like we go into it with a whole different mentality and how we approach each game.
All right, we're here at 101 Craft Kitchen. I asked Coach Hill what he was looking at for food. What are you looking at for food?
Probably that 101 burger.
Yeah?
Yeah. I saw some pesto. I like pesto, like burgers. I saw like some pesto chicken sandwich, something like that. Looked kind of good, so I was like, might check that out too.
Yeah. Well, everything that I've had so far here has been great.
Okay.
So I had the lemon chicken tonight.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Had green beans and some roasted potatoes with that. It was very good.
It was good?
Yeah, it was good. Good flavor to it.
Is it true we eat for free? I heard that from Frankie. I don't know if that's true.
You might.
I was just curious. I heard it. I was like, oh, might have
he
to.
might. I might. Maybe.
Okay. Nah, I just heard it. I was like, oh.
You got to investigate that then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate the time. We really appreciate everything you've done here at Westerville Central. We wish you the best of luck. No
Thank
matter
you.
what happens tomorrow night, whatever happens in the playoffs, congratulations on, your graduation coming up in the spring, and we wish you nothing but the best as you move forward.
Thank you.
So we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Hezi Musagala joining us inside the Josh Franke Coaches Show. When we come back, we're going to have Coach Franke himself join us inside the show. We're here from 101 Craft Kitchen in Westerville on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Beanie Wells. Whatever the sport, wherever it's played, there's one thing that student athletes, coaches, and fans can all share: sportsmanship. The Ohio High School Athletic Association Respect the Game campaign reminds us that school sports are so much more than wins and losses. On behalf of the OHSAA, let's all do our part to make school sports a fun, positive, and rewarding experience that student athletes will remember for a lifetime. Every game, every time, let's all respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Your phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait. Attention on the road, that's the only way. Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network. With Brent Ford, here is the head coach of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Josh Franke.
It's the Josh Franke Coaches Show, Week 10 high school football season. Brent Ford, Coach Franke with you. 101 Craft Kitchen is our broadcast location tonight here on COSN. Glad you could be with us. Coach, it's flying by.
Yeah.
Week 10.
Week 10.
And then we talk playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
I have to ask you, though, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, how Joe Idle has you guys listed in his playoff brackets there. He lists you as controlling your own destiny.
Yeah. I mean, so we've looked at a lot of stuff, obviously. You know, we have some guys that are into the analytics and just the different scenarios that can play out and everything like that. I mean, it would take a miracle for us not to play. I mean,
sure.
so the statistics literally break down to it is 99.97% when we were in the playoffs. So like, I've got some people are like, I can't believe you guys got playoff shirts and people were in playoff shirts. Like 99.97%, like willing to take those odds. So it's like,
yeah, you'll take that, right?
You know, yeah. So, but yeah, so hey, here we are, and again, we talk about playoffs and the kids. I mean, we've told them like you're going to be playing next Friday. Like, who you're playing is going to determine, is going to be determined on how you play tomorrow night.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, Coach, let's talk about last week's game. That win really helps you solidify even more of that statistical mathematic equation of getting into the playoffs. You get the win 30-0 over Central Crossing. I thought you guys played pretty well in this game.
I wasn't happy.
I know you
I
weren't.
wasn't happy.
I think the thing that I left being a little frustrated with for you was the special teams.
Yeah.
Extra points, 2-point conversions, didn't convert a single one in that game.
Yep.
Talk to me about what was going on with that.
To be honest, so the field goal stuff, it just it got blocked. I mean, so the first one gets blocked, and then it's like, all right, we're trying to go for two, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like I get this is on me, like I didn't have my 2-point plays for last week, just because I felt like there was some other things in our game plan that if we got in a situation, like I felt like we had some plays that they would be good 2-point plays.
Yeah.
So, when we went to those, I think both 2-point plays were down on the inch line, and it's like we're right there. Just couldn't convert, and then, you try to kick out another field goal because you're not trying to be disrespectful and make it seem like you're running up the score, and then, that one gets blocked as well. So it's just – it was one of those nights. We've worked on it a lot this week. I think the concern tomorrow is the cold conditions, So when you get cold conditions, fingers start to turn numb, So then that affects the snapper, that affects the holder. These are kids a lot of times that aren't playing a ton, or they're not be starting offense. They might not be starting defense. So a lot of times they're going into the game cold. So you worry about that kind of situation. So we worked a lot about, and we've kind of preached, making sure your hands are warm when you go in and handling the ball like that on special teams. But I think the most frustrating thing is the past 4 weeks now, we have worked on, and I've told you this a couple weeks, if it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. We've worked on units, so we start with freshmen. We have freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors divided up. One group is working on blocking for the field goal. One group is working on blocking for punts. One group is working on staying in your lanes for kickoff. The other group is working on blocking for kickoff return. And we're there for 3 to 4 minutes, and we rotate. You just rotate them, and everyone gets reps at doing it.
Yeah.
And the linemen spend the most time in the punt and the field goal blocking units, and they've gotten a ton of work at that. So it's just very frustrating to see that block because we've put a lot of emphasis on that the last couple weeks. So, but again, tomorrow's another Friday night, and we feel like we've prepared better and we've put an emphasis on it this week. So you hope to see improvements.
Well, Hezi Musagala was just on with us, and he had that interception in that game. He also talked about the letters that you handed out from the parents and family and all that. You got pretty emotional last week talking about it.
Sure.
How was that moment in the locker room?
Honestly, again, credit Chris Hart for that. That was his kind of thing that he kind of, passed to me and was like, I think this is really cool. And I was like, yeah, I think it is cool. But we get everybody else on the team. We get them out of the locker room, and those guys are just in the locker room by themselves. I'm not in there with them. Other coaches aren't. That's for them. So didn't get to really see how that affects them, but I know how it affects them. So
they came out with a little bit of fire in their
for sure
gusto, and it felt like they wanted to win on senior night.
No doubt.
And you guys definitely proved that you can move the ball several times. There were some times where, maybe you wanted a couple plays back.
Yeah, and, not that we were looking past Central Crossing, but we felt like we were in a good position as a team where we wanted to put some focus on other areas, we wanted to try some different formations out and put that on film so opponents, it's something else opponents have to plan for. Nate wanted to get some confidence with him throwing the football a little bit more, and at least show the threat of throwing, you know what I mean? So because now you have to respect that. So a lot of things like that, and again, I was fired up at halftime because I didn't think we were playing well. We weren't executing really well in the first half, and we went back to running the ball in the second half. But I guess my big message, to our team and our coaching staff talked about it, but even to our fans and everything, you might be in the stands and you don't always realize why we're doing what we're doing, but there's a rhyme and a reason for everything. So Again, not that we were looking past last week, but we were trying to do some things that are going to set up some things for the coming weeks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think that's an important part of the game. It's you're not trying to look past your opponent. You still are running things that you think you're going to do and be successful at, but at the same time you're setting up the chess moves for down the line. So
when you're in this game, you talked about Nate Miller getting him some reps with confidence with passing the ball. He completes to Cam Hebner for Hebner's first touchdown of the year.
Yeah.
That's a big moment for those two.
Sure. Well, what's crazy is
Are you going to tell me that he called his own play again?
No.
Okay.
But the past couple weeks, we've known, hey, Cam has not gotten in the end zone, and we're calling some plays that we're trying. Every other receiver had gotten in, and you want him to get in too, and so you're calling some plays where I hate to say it, but you're almost trying to force it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that play there, that play's not designed to be a touchdown. That play's it was third down and we needed a first down.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it scores and you're like, well,
there it is.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
But it's funny, we've been forcing and trying to get them in, and then when you're not even trying, it just happens. So that's just how the game works sometimes, I guess.
Musagala had that interception, but I think one of the biggest plays of the year and the biggest play of that game is the Nick Creaky pick six.
Mm-hmm.
That solidifies that 30-0 win. When you see that pick six, what's your reaction?
I kind of puffed my chest out a little bit because Nick Creaky has never played safety before this year.
Mm-hmm.
He was a quarterback all his life. And this offseason, I just saw the length and range that he could have, and he's a sneaky good athlete. And I told people, I'm like, hey, we need to move him to safety. I think he can play safety in this new defense. I think he's what we're looking for. And there was a lot of eye raises, and a lot of people were like, I don't think so. And trust me, he's not been perfect all year by no means, but Coach Henderson's done a tremendous job of coaching him up and turning him into a safety. And, I think you're now that we're getting later in the season, you're starting to see some flashes there. And, he came out of nowhere on that. And he's playing instinctive. I think he's comfortable there now. And he's, again, I think, he's a kid that's coming back next year. So now that he has 10 games under his belt playing safety, next year, what's it going to be like?
Well, you talk about being a former quarterback. That has to give him a little bit more insight.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And, again, but I think with he is just so long.
Mm-hmm.
As an offensive guy myself, I hate those types of safeties because, those are the types of safeties that, you think someone's open, but if they're athletic and they have those long arms and they got some height to them, they can cover ground and, they almost erase things that you think are there. And he does that a good bit. So, again, excited to see him develop for another year and see what he can turn into as a senior.
Coach, let's take a break.
Sure.
Go grab your
I'm
sandwich.
gonna grab my food, yep.
Yeah, you got to get your food. You got to make sure your sustenance is in there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about who your captains will be for the next game, and we'll keep preparing for this new Albany matchup.
All right.
Let's take a break as the Josh Franke Coaches Show rolls on from 101 Craft Kitchen here on COSN.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat. All right, come here. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Former Ohio State and NFL quarterback Bobby Hoying on life lessons through sports.
The member schools of the Ohio High School Athletic Association share in the mission of educational athletics. That means that school sports are an extension of the classroom and play an important part of a well-rounded education. Student athletes do a lot more than just play sports, but it's the lessons they learn through sports that last a lifetime.
This message brought to you by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
You're listening to the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network. Back with Westerville Central head football coach Josh Franke. Here is Brent Ford.
101 Craft Kitchen, our broadcast location for the Josh Franke Coaches Show, Week 10 of the high school football season. Brent Ford, Coach Franke with you. And Coach, what was the order for tonight?
The honey chicken. Honey chicken with pimento cheese. Hot honey chicken, maybe?
Hot honey?
I don't know. Hot and not hot doesn't really register with me. Like, people say things are hot, and it's just not hot for me. So.
Really?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm just one of those people I
can't do spicy.
Yeah, like spicy me is just no problem.
No.
Like, people are like, oh, that's really spicy. It's never an issue with me. I'm like, okay, let me try. So.
We got the homemade chips there.
Yeah.
Everything here at 101 is from scratch.
It's good, man. Yeah, and like we were just saying, like, they have a very unique menu. Like, there's just some stuff on there that it's not like any other place. So it's pretty cool. And
even some of the classics of a pretzel or tater tots have a unique taste.
Right,
and
absolutely.
It's just, the taste is just magnificent. Coach, going into Week 10, it's time to talk about your captains. Last week it was your senior class that represented you, and then you had the 4 that walked out. But at New Albany, who are going to be your captains?
We're going with Greg Woods, Omar Bangora. Hezekiah is going to take that as well. And, gosh, who was it? Jackson Mark sitting right there in front of me.
He's like, Coach,
I was having a brain fart. Sorry, Jackson, right in front of me. Duh. I knew it was a senior, and I'm like, who am I missing? All right. So, I mean, but listen, those guys have been playing at a high level, and I think they're all pretty deserving. Not going to lie. Forgot to send the coaches vote out, so that was my selection today. That was my selection. So
maybe that turns into a Week 10 tradition.
Maybe. I don't know. But, as I was sitting in practice and it dawned on me that I did not send the coaches poll out, and I'm like, all right, so who are we going to pick? And to me, those are guys that have stuck out, not just this week, but all year. I mean, Hezekiah came to us from Worthington Christian, and he came as a running back. And he started as running back, and, I mean, we have some talent at running back. And not that he's not a good running back or talented there, but it was just a very crowded room, and reps were limited. And he came to us in the offseason, wanted to try and maybe play some safety. So, okay, like, you give that kid an opportunity to try and get on the field. And, he plays some safety, but, again, kind of pretty deep in the safety room too, and somehow, some way, I think it was week 2, we were like, let's try him, maybe some linebacker, you know, and he's been there, and obviously had a great game last week and with the interception, but I just really proud of kids like that despite the adversity just keep pushing, and I was listening to a podcast this week, and I'm trying to think of the coach that they threw on a snippet of, but basically it was like, if you fall in love with the process falls in love with you.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, that to me, for him, that stuck out. I was like, he did everything right. He went to all the off-season stuff and moved around and was willing to learn new things and wanted to ask questions, and to see it pay off for a kid to get on the field. I mean, That's what it's about, like being able to battle through circumstances that maybe you didn't expect or you didn't like or they're not ideal, but to find a way through it, and at the end, you get that reward. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, one of the big things that's happened in Ohio high school football and overall this week is the lawsuit against the OHSAA and about NIL. And I was curious about what your thoughts might be on that, if you wanted to share.
Regardless of what my thoughts are, it's coming. It will be here next year. Well, I have no doubt in my mind that it will be here next year. And again, it's all, obviously there's a temporary ban on the the order that it's illegal. So, but that's only good for, I think it was 45 days or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be visited by the OHSAA. I think we're like one of 5 schools in the country that don't have it, or one of the 5 states that don't have it. So it's coming. Like the OHSAA is not going to be able to hold off by not doing it. And we've seen it coming. We've seen it developing. To be honest with you, I've already begun working with some people I know in other states that have it, learning the rules and what they have, and we've already I've already started to piece together a program that when it does get approved, we're already going to have the information and how we're going to tackle it at Westerville Central High School as far as our football program.
Game plan.
So, at this level, you have to be a step ahead, and parents are going to want to know information. The administration is going to want to know information. And to be honest with you, it kind of gives you an advantage as a high school if you are addressing it and have a plan compared to others that don't. It is what it is. It gives you an advantage. And so that's something that we're looking at, and we're already starting to develop a program to where we will have an education piece to it, educating our parents on what it looks like and how it works, educating our players on what it looks like and how it works, and how can you market yourself as an athlete to take advantage of that. A lot of states, what they do is it's illegal, or it's against the rules for coaches and administrators to be involved in the NIL marketing aspect of things. Essentially, from what I understand, is I'm not going to be able to act as like an agent. I'm not going to be able to broker deals and try to, the coaches and administrators are completely hands off of it, and the players and the parents kind of have to work that process by themselves. Which makes sense, because then you take yourself out of the equation of making it unfair, and other parents wondering why you're not helping their kid, but you're helping this kid. But one of the things that we can do is teach our parents how they can market their child to take advantage of that, and educate them on the process of what's allowed, what's not allowed. And I think that's something we're looking to do here at Central.
I was going to say, it seems like whether you agree or disagree with it, it's coming.
You're right.
And so you have to be prepared.
Yep. And again, that will give us an advantage. I think when you look at our program as a whole, I think we try really hard to mirror college programs. Whether it's our mental health program, or having a nutritionist, having a yoga instructor, having a speed and strength staff. We have a massage therapist. We're doing community service events. We have an academic coach who monitors academics and makes sure that our players are eligible to play every Friday and are getting things done in the classroom. I think this is, for me, just makes sense to be the next component. We have an NIL educational program in place to help our players maximize that opportunity. And again, whether I agree with it or not, or anybody in our school agrees with it or not, it's going to be here, and you just can't ignore it. So if it's going to be here, you might as well make the most of it and make sure you're prepared for it when it does get here. Because if you're not, who knows what could happen? You know what I mean? That's like going into a Friday night without having a game plan. You're just hoping for the best, and that's never a good thing. So.
Well, it's been a hot topic,
no doubt,
and kind of seeing how everything's playing out. We're going to have Skip Mossick's tonight in high school football. We have his halftime show, and I know he's going to have Tim Street from the OHSAA on to talk about that.
Yep.
We're going to get that perspective tomorrow night at halftime. So it's going to be a continuous thing. So that vote, I believe, is coming up in mid-November.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens from there.
Yep.
Interesting time.
It is.
Yeah.
It is interesting, but like I said, right here at Westerville Central, we'll be prepared and make sure that our athletes have access to, the best outlets for it, as possible. So,
Coach, when you look at how last week went with Central Crossing going into New Albany, who do you see that really stood out from your team that really made strides in their development for your squad? Tough game. I know you talked about how
I just wasn't happy overall with the game. I think we didn't execute very well. I think we could have played a lot better. Really wanted to get young guys more opportunities, but it didn't happen. And again, I think we just kind of played sloppy a little bit. So my expectations were a lot higher than what we got. And I hate saying that because you won 30-0. And I was coming off the field, and Mrs. Sayre usually meets me there, and and we do our post-game hug, and it's just like, oh my God, that was bad, that was sloppy. And she's like, if I would have told you a year ago, you would be 4-5 right now and just won 30-0. She's like, you would have been happy. I was like, well, you are right. So
fair enough.
So
right?
how far we've come that I'm upset and not happy with a 30-0 victory. But I mean, again, it just goes on the conversation we had last week. Like I'm not okay with being average. Like it's all I'm here. So I'm a perfectionist, and my wife often reminds me all the time that nothing is ever good enough for me. So
okay,
it's just what you're getting, man. So.
Yeah. Coach, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk New Albany and what you need to do to get the win tomorrow night on the road, and we'll talk about that when we come back inside the Josh Franke Coaches Show from 101 Craft Kitchen here in Westerville on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do? Text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. A referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Ohio did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in Ohio is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, it just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network. Back with Westerville Central head football coach Josh Franke. Here is Brent Ford.
Welcome back inside the Josh Franke Coaches Show here on COSN. Live from 101 Craft Kitchen, Brent Ford with you, and Coach Franke taking a sip of his Diet Coke right there. Got to get that caffeine fix still.
Listen, well, we talk about spicy food doesn't affect me. Like, caffeine has no effect on me.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Some people can't have a, Coke before they go to bed, something like that. Like, no issue with me.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm that way. I can't have anything that's going to keep me awake.
I'm my guilty pleasure is Monster Rehabs. Now listen, before you go,
oh man,
before you go judging, Monster Rehab is the tea version.
Okay.
Okay, it's not carbonated. It has things like coconut water and milk thistle and a bunch of B vitamins, and it's a C+ on the beverage rating scale. So it's not as bad as like a true Monster. It has about as much caffeine as a cup of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker.
I am a coffee person.
Not a coffee person, so I drink my tea, my Monster Rehab tea every morning. Been doing it for 10 years probably, if not longer.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
Like 4:50.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I got to be at work in early 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah, listen, I'm an early person. I go in and I work out every morning. So I'll get up, let the dogs out, take them, walk around the pond real quick, and then get home and I get to the weight room and I'll do a workout, shower real quick at the office, and then teaching at 7:25. And my kids, all of my students will tell you I am a morning person. So.
Oh, or are you? Okay.
I feel sorry for my 725 students. Like, I told them today, because I talk and say stuff, and like they're zombies. And I told them today, I said, I really appreciate all the meaningful conversations we have with each other every morning. They just they're kind of just looking at me, but
like, oh, geez, Coach.
Yeah. So,
come on, man.
I'm dancing. I got the music blaring. Like, you can hear my music coming all the way down the hallway. And you get a different genre every day. But you know what? Some kids, like, I'm their caffeine fix.
Yeah.
I'm what kickstarts their day. So, and again, I think that's important that they come in and there's somebody there that with energy and is excited. And I think, never underestimate the impact you can have on starting a kid's day, because you don't know what they're coming from.
Right.
And, if you're happy and excited and energetic, like, I'm a big energy guy. We talk about this all the time, but like the kids can feed off that energy. And if I can be the reason that they, start their day off the right way, then great.
Yeah.
So I actually was really humbled and honored that I got my first 2 students this year ask me to do their diplomas, and they weren't football players. So
wow,
that made me proud. It was a proud teacher moment. So yeah.
I'm trying to remember who I had. I'm sure I'll get a text from the at-home
I was
going to
say, like,
I don't remember who gave me. It was either Mr. Painter or Coach Loftman. I can't remember.
So you're telling me I'll soon be forgotten? Is that what you're saying? Don't think too much into it, Coach Franke, because you'll soon be forgotten.
My theater director or my cross-country coach. It was
Fair.
One of the two.
Fair.
I can't remember which, but it was one of those two.
I don't think I'll have a football player ask me.
No?
I don't think. I'm too mean. We had mental health. So we had our final piece of our mental health chapter last night come in. We had One Health come in to give them some tools for battling stress and anxiety, and like what are some things you can do for that. And something came up of like, you gotta have a heart, you gotta have a good heart, or whatever. And one of the kids was like, well, Coach Franke doesn't have a heart. So,
at least you can laugh it off.
Yeah, I can. I don't take it serious because you know what, like, that's my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My job is not to have you like me. My job is for when you're 30 years old and you say something that I've repeated 100 times to you, you say that to your kid, and you're like, oh, man, that guy had a bigger impact than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, Coach, you've got all that energy in the mornings, but how do you translate that into tomorrow night's game at New Albany? Always a tough place to play.
Yeah.
It's always a heavy run team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have a different kind of energy when you go up against that offense. What do you hope how do you hope to start that game?
We got to start fast. I mean, I think they're in a position, New Albany at least, is that they're not going to the playoffs. They've been mathematically eliminated. It is their senior night, so they're going to come out with some energy, but also knowing that there's not a next week for them. That could play emotionally on you a little bit different. It's supposed to be cold, and if you can get up on them early, you might start seeing kids just be like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm looking forward to basketball. I'm looking forward to wrestling, indoor track, whatever the case may be. But if you let them stick around, think they have a shot, then the kind of mentality changes of like, oh, we can win our last game of the year, gives us momentum going into next season. Our seniors can go out with a win. So again, kids are psychologically fragile human beings, and if we let them think that there's a shot. I mean, right now we're playing better football, in my opinion, and so again, we can't let them make it a game. But like you said, I mean, they have a phenomenal running back. Has over 1,000 yards rushing this year in Jet Jewers, and we need to make sure we contain him. He's a track guy. I mean, he's fast. He has several Division I offers. If we let him get outside and get to the second level, we're in trouble. We're not going to catch him.
Yeah, he's got over 1,300 yards, 10 TDs. His longest was 83 yards. He's averaging almost 8 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty big. He's had 3 fumbles, lost 2 of them. After that, you don't have any other runners that really pose that too big of a threat. So they're kind of
their team.
They're one-dimensional.
He is their team.
So how does that play into your defensive scheme?
Well, I mean, so we're a force. We're a force defense. So what that means is like we want to always set the edge and force things back inside. So we do not want him to get out on the edge and run. We call it the track on the outside. We don't want him to run the track. We want him. Kids make fun of it, but we talk about fighting inside a phone booth. Like, we want to fight inside the tackle boxes.
Do they know what a phone booth is?
Probably not. But we want to fight inside that phone booth, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to fight in a phone booth. Everything's just real jam-packed, and, like, you got to be physical and aggressive, and we want to keep everything in the tackle boxes. Like, we think that's what we're that kind of team. We're built for that. We are not built to run, track meets on the edge. So that's what we have to do. We have to keep him contained and not let him get outside the tackle box. And if we do that, I think we'll have a lot of success.
Yeah, they don't. Their quarterback Hoovler has only completed 24 passes of 59 attempts on the year, so they don't. Obviously, this is going to all go through one guy. And we talked about it last week how Greg Woods is close to that single-season sack record.
Not going to be many chances for him.
No, not last week. He couldn't get back to that quarterback, and that's probably not going to happen this week against New Albany. So if you want Maurice Crozier and Greg Woods to be factors in this game, you talk about setting those edges. How do they do that?
They just have to play. With that being said, our defense has to play really disciplined. Like, you have to follow your keys. You can't try to do someone else's job. You just got to do your job. If your job is to tackle the fullback when they either run the dive or fake the dive. Like, you got to tackle. You can't be. So everybody's got to do their job. They have to be banking on the fact that you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to play discipline, and they're going to catch you slipping. And when they do, it will hit for a big play. So on the back end of that, we have to make sure that we're doing our job. And for Greg and Moise, it's just squeezing and sealing those edges and not letting things get outside. So
offensively, their leading tackler right now is Ackerman.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to attack this defense from an offensive scheme?
His mom's our guidance counselor. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Carrie's our guidance counselor. I know. I know.
How does that work out?
I love her. She's awesome. We talk football throughout the course of the year, even in the spring, and she's always asking about like recruiting and stuff like that. I mean, she's trying to help her son out and wanting to kind of see what we're doing here at Central. And but I mean, she's great. She's a football person. She likes football. I haven't spent much time in her office this week, but usually I'll stop down and knock on the door and go and sit down, and we'll BS for a little bit, but not this week. So, but when you look at their defense, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, they're pretty solid on the box 7, we call it. So that they play a 3-4, but a lot of times they walk our outside linebackers down, and they essentially are running a 5-2 defense is what it looks like.
Yeah.
But those 7 are coming they're in there, and they're rushing those front 5 almost every single time, which makes it tough because you have to account for them. But they're really stout against the run. And, that's concerning to me because, like, that's our forte, man. Like, that's what we do. And they've allowed any 100-yard rushers or any team to rush for over 100 yards. Like, the teams that have beat them throwing the football. Am I lying? I did lie to you. I mean, decent, but nothing crazy. But
No.
Pick North.
Pick North was 305.
Yeah, Pick North was, and again, early on it wasn't like that, though.
No.
Early on it was
Central Crossing had 114 on them. Gahanna had 137. Grove City 163.
But it's hard. I mean, it's hard sledding against their. I really watched a lot of their Upper Arlington game and the Hilliard Bradley game. I watched a good chunk of that as well because they run a lot of similar. They run some things that are similar to what our sets are, our offensive sets. Like, I can tell through those games. Berlin too. I can tell. How are they going to treat our tight ends? How are they going to treat a fullback in the backfield? Like, you can get an idea of what you to expect based off those games. So I've spent a lot of attention on those games. But, like, you look at a school like UA. I mean, they're, what are they right now? 8-1. One of the top teams in our region, and
7-2. Yeah.
7-2. But I mean, they had a difficult time running the ball on them, and they're a running football team.
Yeah.
And most of the teams I feel like that have beat them pretty handedly have been teams that have thrown the ball on them.
Yeah, if the playoffs started tomorrow night,
and it's pretty much right as rain. So,
yeah. Which matchup, if you could align the stars, which matchup would you ideally want?
Coach Hill said it best earlier. Like, faceless opponent. Like, it don't matter who we play.
Yeah.
Obviously we've had success against Grove City, but I think it's really hard to beat a team twice. Because, if you play Grove City, they're going to go back and watch that film. They're going to find out where you had success at offensively and defensively, and they're going to build a game plan to counterattack that. And that puts us at a disadvantage because we don't know what that's going to be. You know what I mean? So then we almost have to approach it as, like, we got to do almost something opposite of what we do. So, again, that's chess piece that goes into play. But again, who we play is who we play, because guess what? If you get Grove City, like, that's all well and good. But if you were to beat them, who's waiting for you after that is Olentangy Orange.
Yeah.
Who's probably going to go 10-0 and are probably the favorites to win the state title. So eventually you're going to have to beat everybody. Yeah. And that's what we told our kids is, like, you want to be in the conversation annually of, like, you don't want to be that easy W circle on their calendar. But you want to be a team that, like, they respect and are like, you just never know, Westerville Central. Like, you're going to have to beat those teams.
So, going into tomorrow night's game, should I expect Kevin King-Foku to be back?
He is playing. He is playing. He could have played last week against Central Crossing. And he looked really good in practice last week as well. But it was just kind of one of those things where it was like, do we really need you out there? Like, if you were to re-injure it, and then we miss you for New Albany in week 11, like, would we look back and be like, that was stupid? So we held him and was like, let's give you one more week to just make definite sure that you're good to go. And listen, our backs last week I thought played pretty good.
Oh,
Ryan Moran and Kajai Johnson. Yeah. I'm excited about Kajai. I think he's like Swiss Army knife's not even the correct term, because he's not little. Like, he's not fitting in your pocket. Like, he's a big dude, and he's like, he's like a tank. I don't even. Omar's a Swiss Army knife. Kajai is something completely.
Able to establish the run tomorrow night. Does that establish your ability to pass with the tight ends, or are you going to focus more on the receiving core?
So it's interesting you say that, because like I told you, they run that 3-4, but they walk those outside linebackers up. You got to think about this in my brain scope, I guess. If you don't have a tight end on there, and they walk an outside linebacker there, who accounts for him? Nobody.
Yeah.
There's no way to account. You have to account for him in other ways, whether that's you're running some RPO behind him, or you're pulling somebody and kicking him, or you have two backs and one of the backs is going to take advantage of him. But if you put a tight end in there, now, like, that's what they're doing. When they do that, they're putting 7. So they run cover 0. They run a man, where they just man up right across the board. And they say our 7 guys in the box are going to be strictly here to stop the run. And I think that's why a lot of teams struggle to run the ball on them, is because if you don't match the numbers, they have an advantage. They have more guys than you can block.
Sure.
When you put 2 tight ends in there, you have your 5 down linemen, your 2 tight ends. Now it's 7 on 7. So, yeah, I think you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see a lot of that, because that way we can account for those guys. So I think when you add in that, where we're going to match numbers in the box, and then you add in the component of, I think we're a really difficult team to plan for defensively because of the misdirection we have, the movement we have, and the counters we run.
Yeah.
We are the ultimate deception team. You think the ball's going one way, and then it's like Omar's touchdown last week. I mean, he walked in. I had no clue where it says you. And I think it's the other reason that they're really good against the run is because their defense is so used to going up against their offense.
Yeah. They know
that's
what
to do. I mean, they're
phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Mason Pavlino had a catch in practice this week. It was left-handed, one hand. We were running goal line, and we're from the 5, and he just jumped. It's our defense versus our offense when we run those periods, and he just jumped up and just snagged that thing one-handed with his left hand. And, like, Connor Staten, our tight ends coach, looked at me. He's like, my job's going to be pretty easy for the next couple of years. Oh, yeah, it will. So, but, yeah, we run the football. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I challenged our team this week to run the ball. I said, they were built to stop the run, and you should take it as a challenge that no one's going to stop us from running football.
It's going to be cold.
It is going to be cold. But you know what? So it was cold yesterday.
Yeah.
I went out in T-shirt and shorts yesterday, and the whole practice I was in T-shirt and shorts. And
braver man than I.
Well, and this is what I told the kids after practice. I didn't do it because I wasn't cold. So I did it. Of course I'm cold. Everybody's cold. And I said, but Friday night, everyone's going to be cold. Coaches are going to be cold. The officials are going to be cold. The fans are going to be cold. New Albany's going to be cold. You're going to be cold. But can you block out that feeling of I'm cold and focus on what you have to do? That's what mental toughness is. It's not tough because you can brace the cold and it doesn't bother you. Of course it bothers you. Toughness comes from when you can block out or ignore your brain telling you, I'm cold, you're cold, go do something. Can you block that out and focus on the snap count, where your first step's going to be, the fact that you're pulling, how you have to have your hands when you take the hand off. Can you block all that out? And that's why I told him, I did this. I wore my shorts and my T-shirt out here today because I wanted to prove to you guys that you can block that out and focus on the task at hand.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do that. And if I can do it, you can do it.
Some of the best broadcasters out there, they actually, in these kind of conditions, they make sure that the press box is wide open because they want to feel the same conditions that the players are feeling, the
makes
fans.
Sense.
I'll have the window open in my little booth up there. I'll be on the visitor's side next to your coaches. I'm in my own room.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I'll have my own little room, but the windows will be wide open.
Hey, you know what, though? I mean, that's why I love football.
Yeah.
It's played in all conditions, and that's the way it's meant to be played. And, did we talk about the frost on the pumpkin? I think we did. Did we?
I don't.
There's this famous speech about the frost on the pumpkin.
Okay.
And essentially, football coaches have adopted it to the best football teams win games when the frost is on the pumpkin. Like, and it's this mentality of, like, that's when real football's played. Like, you're not 5 wide receivers throwing the ball all over the place. Like, there's a reason teams that throw the ball a ton don't win state championships. You got to be able to run the football when it gets to this type of weather because the conditions just play in huge.
Yeah.
And, again, your hands get frozen, fingers get frozen. As a receiver, like, that ball gets hard. And it's a lot of these quarterbacks can throw it, like, they can sling it. And that ball hits your hands, it's like you're catching bricks. And it's not fun. It's not fun. So when the frost is on the pumpkin, that's when teams need to run the football and win. So
it just prepares you for Week 11 too.
No doubt. It's supposed to. Listen, early forecast looks like rain next Friday. So
great.
Past three Halloweens it has rained. So
yeah,
we'll probably be in the rain. Okay. But a couple weeks ago, we practiced in that torrential downpour, and I told them. Yeah. We're doing it for a reason. We're doing it for when it rains, and that might be Week 11, and sure enough, it looks like that might be the case. So
as long as we played Upper Arlington, so I can try to get into the booth. At Grove City, I got to sit on top of the roof.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, you might be in for a miserable night, maybe.
I got all this equipment.
Oh man, that's rough.
That wouldn't go well for me.
Not be ideal. We'll buy you like a little tent. Like one of those little just
pop-up
long,
tents?
yeah, those little tall tents you can just sit in and has like the viewing screen.
Yeah.
We'll set you up.
Okay. I might need something.
Touchdown Club will take care of you.
We'll see. Hopefully,
can I shout out Touchdown Club?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because they've just done a phenomenal. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say how much money they raised this year, but it is triple figures. They have done a phenomenal job.
And there's more fundraising happening this weekend.
Bingo Saturday.
Yeah.
Bingo Saturday. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. I got invited down to Cincinnati to go watch their homecoming game. Obviously, I got some kids on the team there, so I try to, anytime I get an opportunity to see some of my kids that we've pushed on, like So I hate not being at Bingo, but I'll be freezing my buns off at Cincinnati. So.
Well, at least they'll have that comfort of knowing you're cold.
There you go.
But you're not cold. It's a mental thing.
That's right. Mental fortitude.
That's it. There you go. Coach, appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Week 10.
Yep.
And you can finish up your meal, and
you
can head home.
All right.
We're going to wrap up the Josh Franke Coaches Show when we come back right after this from Kraft 101 Craft Kitchen here in Westerville on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Put your phone on D&D, that means please don't always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please don't always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
I perform for our high school choir director, who taught me to breathe from the diaphragm and sing from the heart.
Speech, debate, theater, music. The performing arts teach valuable life lessons that typically aren't taught in the classroom. They help high school students learn leadership skills that prepare them to enjoy more satisfying, productive lives.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Who will you perform for?
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the high school in your community.
You're listening to the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network.
Wrapping up Week 10 of the Josh Franke Coaches Show here on COSN from 101 Craft Kitchen in Westerville, here in the Polaris area as well. Well, Westerville Central in Week 9 got that win, 30-0 over Central Crossing. They're now 4-5. They want to advance that record and try to go 500 on the year, go 5-5 going into the playoffs. Like Coach Franke said, although we talked about it earlier in the show about that slight chance of not making the playoff, mathematically there's more of a chance of being in the playoff than anything else. So Week 11 will prepare you for that as well. We'll have the Josh Franke Coaches Show in Week 11 as well. Get prepared for that playoff game. And first, it starts with tomorrow night's Week 10 game, Westerville Central at New Albany. Our pregame coverage will come your way at 6:15 p.m., and we will get things kicked off at 7 o'clock from New Albany. You can listen to all that on Central Ohio Sports Network. We'll have it for you on game night, and it'll be a Week 10 to remember. Westerville Central, if they have that opportunity, it's really – Coach talked about a faceless opponent, but hey, really, you're trying to find that right opponent to play, and depending on who you get, do you really want to face Grove City again, or do you want to go play Upper Arlington? You know, you can make the debate. You can have those, and maybe one is right, maybe the other is right. It just depends. So we can dig into that more when we get into the Josh Franke Coaches Show next Thursday, and even in the postgame tomorrow, we'll talk about that with Wes Minke inside that broadcast as well. Big thanks to everyone here at 101 Craft Kitchen for their hospitality, not just this week, but last week as well. Great food as always. A big thanks to the Westerville Central Touchdown Club for setting up all of our locations for the Josh Franke Coaches Show. We appreciate all their hard work and what they do to support the Warhawk football program. We'll remind you that Saturday night is bingo night from Grizzly Bird Brewing Company. Their doors open at 5:30, bingo at 6 o'clock. Highly recommend going to support that. They're working with Warhawk Football, the Touchdown Club, and the Westerville Central Athletic Boosters in that fundraising event on Saturday night. But, of course, our broadcast tomorrow, 6:15 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff, from New Albany. For everyone who joined us in the show, Coach Hill, Musagala, Coach Franke, we appreciate everyone joining us. I'm Brent Ford saying good night from 101 Craft Kitchen. This has been the Josh Franke Coaches Show on Central Ohio Sports Network.
This has been the Josh Franke Coaches Show, a broadcast presentation of Central Ohio Sports Network. This presentation may not be rebroadcast without approval from Central Ohio Sports Network. To advertise or sponsor with COSN, email centralohiosportsnetwork@gmail.com. This is the home of the Westerville Central Warhawks, Central Ohio Sports Network.